Yeah, I'm just going to play through Sidney Smith's March, then I'll break it down. That's tune. Right, so from the top, lead in notes first. This is just what I do. You can do separate. So the tune starts with. I tend to start with. So it starts on a, what's that? That's a B, C sharp, which is in the outside reel on the pull, D, and the tune starts on D. Now, that little opening note, let's just talk very briefly about that. Without thinking, I tend to this. It's called I call it a three-finger trill. It's quite common in accordionists. Karen Tweed uses it a lot, but some button accordion players use it as well. But it's easier in some circumstances than others. I personally find it much easier on the outside row than the in. But in this case, I'm playing on the inside row. It just seems to fit the tune for me. You don't necessarily need to do that. You can just keep it steady as it doesn't really matter. So that's basically what I'm doing. It's done by bringing finger 3, finger 2, finger 1, kind of like in a rocking motion across the key. It so happens the keyboard in this thing is limited, so it's actually really quite easy. Into the outside row. So it's actually a figure 3, 2, 1, 1, and 3 again, all hitting the same button. But that's that. So let's. Yeah, a little trill there, isn't there? Okay, let's talk about that. Again, basic tune. I can't help myself. I tend to just flip when I tend to play the note next to it, which is, so that's the A, the note next to it is C, so it's a little trill on the C. Yeah, so that little trill. Again, you don't need to. It's just there for, I don't know, it's for me it just plays itself. It's just practice, I guess. Now, at this point I'm going to bring on basses, because basses are actually linked to this section. Now you'll notice I'm starting so that's 2 bars. First bar is a standard G bar. Yep, okay. But then when I'm playing these 4 notes going down, well, you could just play a C chord against it, as in. Nothing wrong with that. But I tend to find myself playing a C, B, A, G run. That's kind of like walking around the box in a circle. So you start there, You go there, you go there, and you go there. Yeah? The bellows direction takes care of the rest for you. You don't change. I'm not changing treble fingering there at all. It just does it for itself. This sort of this trick comes into the tune quite a lot. So learn it now and use it several times. Okay, so there we go. Next part. All on G row, quite simple. So again, that's just staying on the standard G, D bass. I imagine this is as well. No, it's not. It's going C, D, G. So the bass is going to go. Right, now we're coming to one of these weird and wonderful sections which sounds almost classical. Practice and keeping one finger in the same position. I tend to play all these stuff on 3 fingers. I don't tend to use a 4th finger. You can do, I suppose, but I don't find it necessary. So finger 3 is the one that plays the all-important repeating note. And it's just a question of, well, practice. This bit comes. So that bit. So descending notes, all on fingers 1 and 2. Bellows direction does change, but you're always playing that 3rd finger note, which is always the same on the push. And it's all on G row. Next bit, fairly standard. Again, all on G row. Okay, a little tricky bit coming up here. The next note, do, we have to swap the row to get. It's on the pull, it's C sharp on the pull. So the tune's in C, but the tune is in G, but there are the occasional C sharps, and there goes one of them. So that whole section. Change, and back again. Now let's just figure out what the basses do with that bit. Okay, so the basses actually didn't do anything particularly unusual there. Not the first bit. So while the hard bit's going on in the treble, I'm basically just playing G and D basses. However, I am doing something different on the last 2 notes, and when I just showed you it before, I was actually wrong. Let me show you that. These notes. So the first one is on the pull, on the outside row, and I'm playing an A chord against that. And I stay on the same button and push for the second note. So whereas you could play it up here, you could play it on the inside row if you wish, actually. Makes no difference. But the point is, for that chord, you have to play the D chord on the push. So not the G chord, but the D chord on the push. And I tend to find myself staying on the D row to make that happen. So that section. Okay. That's the A music. It's the whole A music. I'll play that all the way through. There you go. So repeat that twice. Now, B music. I'll have to play it actually to get my head around it. Okay, so the B music, a very good reason for ending that last note on the outside row is because of the start of the B music, which plays much easier on the outside row. Back. That's the opening phrase. On the outside row, all on the push, and played against the D chord on the push. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah. So yeah, okay, so that phrase. Yeah, next note in that phrase I was missing. Now, you end up in this note on the push. If you pull that note, you get the next note. And if you flip up to the G row, so both those 3 notes are all on the pull. Outside row button 5, inside row button 4, outside row button 5. No, actually. Yeah, my bad. The notes are right, however, it's note outside row in the A, pull. So outside row is, yeah, so there we go. First note, outside row in the pull. Second note, inside row in the pull. Third note, inside row on the push to get the G chord. So, there we go. Okay, that's that phrase. Next phrase is kind of mirrors it up a bit. Okay, here we go. So same sort of phrase but in G, and a kind of a fudge there, which I'd never aware about until I start breaking this down. So that's pretty standard stuff in the G row. That's all in the push. Now I suppose technically it probably should be to mirror the D phrase, but to be honest, I've never done that. I wonder what people do. So that section. So that's all in the last chord of the C, and we're in another of these classical sort of rundown sections. And this time the finger is on, that's the repeating note. I'm not sure if that's the same repeating note as last time, I don't think it is. But the tactics are the same. So, practice again. I must admit, when I first learned this tune, I couldn't do that for ages. And I tended to just fudge it slightly by going. Which I personally found a lot easier. But it's actually, it's perfectly possible to play it. And it's just a question of practice, really. So that repeats twice. Now we've got another of these chord sequence sections. So 4 notes going in. practice that bit. Just practice that until you can do that little rundown lots and lots. So it goes. So it kind of repeats 3 times that rundown. Okay. Next section, I think you've heard before. That's from the opening of the A music. Again, that's the opening of the music, I think. Now again, another classical section, this time rooted on. Yeah, it's a different note to last one, wasn't it? So this time you rooted on 5, button 5 and then 0 on the push. And again, the third finger handles that, and the first and second fingers do everything else. And again, it's just a rundown. Now, a slight tweak here, in the last note is on the outside row. Other than that, no, business as usual. Now run up again. Now back down to there. Okay, so that's the section. So it goes like this. I'll try and play it through a few times. Okay, with basses. Now the only gotcha, I'm playing G and D chord for that. The only gotcha is that when you swap row, I tend to play a C chord. So the whole thing with basses, other than that, I'm playing G and Ds. So yeah, that's basically, you kind of hear how it goes down, comes up, then from the lowest note again, goes up again. Now repeat that run up. And now the final phrase. All in G row and quite simple. So the B music goes like this. Remember, it starts on the D row. I'm on the G row now. Repeat that twice. When you want to finish a tune, again it's personal choice, but I tend to repeat that phrase as in and then a little, which is button 3 and 6 on the inside row, on the pull and the push. You can even trill them if you want a big finish. So together. Mostly I would say this, all that is, the bass work is actually, if bass work is not going down in a scale like, then generally speaking the bass work is fairly conventional. So it's, if it's not G and D, it's C. And if you're on the outside row, then it's the D and A buttons. And I think that about covers the whole tune. So I'll play through a bit slower this time and see if I've got that right. Okay, so yeah, I repeat that phrase at the end twice it seems, so I don't actually know until I break it down. But that's basically the tune. I hope you find that useful. Any questions, drop me a note. Cheers.